Before I let myself sit down for my next coloring session, I need a clean slate. I am easily distracted and find myself constantly drifting from one project to another. And because I don't have a single dedicated room to store everything, my projects naturally scatter across the entire house. On the bright side, it means I have creative inspiration no matter where I am. But on the downside, it leaves behind a trail of hidden, half-finished projects. And today, it's time to uncover them, starting right here with my bedroom yarn shelves. I decided to dedicate the top shelf to my active WIPs, or works in progress. This first piece is a crossbody travel mug holder that I'm making for my husband to use when he's outside walking our dogs, so that he doesn't have to juggle holding his coffee and the leashes. Next is a crochet star that I had hoped to stuff and turn into a desk wrist rest. It turned out a little bit bigger than I was anticipating. This is just a practice piece to try out a 3-color spiral technique. I love how it looks, but I haven't quite figured out what it's going to become. Then I have a multicolor hexagon cardigan that I got the pattern from TL Yarn Crafts. I love the color of this yarn, and the stitch that she has us do in this pattern is so relaxing to do. Definitely check out her video if you want to make one for yourself. I am also working on this blanket pattern, which I also found here on YouTube. I'll leave links to both of the patterns and creators in the description below. Finally, I have this chunky blanket made with fleece yarn. I love the idea of making blankets, but they always take much longer than I anticipate. This bottom shelf I have reserved for the pieces that I need to frog, meaning I need to rip it apart and start over. This first one was supposed to be a crossbody bag, but my starting chain was way too long. And these other pieces were meant for a unicorn hood that I was making for my niece, but the yarn was too thick for the pattern, and I ended up making it with much lighter weight yarn. My niece said I could share some of her photos from EDC while she was wearing the outfit I made for her. I also have some yarn stashed away in my closet using an old shoe organizer to hold my yarn, and I think it works perfectly. In the giant box of Goodwill yarn, maybe a future video in the making to sorting and detangling all those yarn balls. Next up is the Loft. This is the central hub of my daily creative workflow, so it definitely bears the brunt of most of my mess. It also doubles as my dog's lookout perch, where they get to oversee the neighborhood from their window seat. Because I love so many different crafts, these shelves hold a little bit of everything. I have a cross-stitch piece that I bought when my husband and I got engaged back in 2016. I thought it would be a great memory piece, but as you can see, I've only completed a small corner over the last 10 years, though my embroidery floss is beautifully organized if I do say so myself. Next to that is an embroidery practice ring in a mini bookshop kit that I'm excited to start since I loved building this similar cozy bookstore miniature that I finished recently. These figures that I have on my bookshelf are made out of air dry clay. They still need to be sanded and painted, but for now they just hang out on my bookshelf. Back on the craft shelf, I'm trying these 2 mini canvases that came with acrylic paint. And then I have these slightly larger canvases that came with metallic crayons and a scratch pad. Doing a full scratch art page might be a fun video in the making down the road. I also have my polymer clay, including my very first figure modeled after the instruction booklet here. It hasn't been baked yet, so it's still soft. Then I have this vibrant fabric jelly roll that I plan to sew into a tote bag for carrying all of my crochet projects as I'm working on them. This section of the shelf is dedicated to my coloring books and features everything from Create This Book, Color by Numbers, and different cozy coloring books. And last but not least is my watercolor instruction book. I've done a few paintings, as you can see so far, but I still have a long way to go. Moving over to my home office, I've taken over this section of my desk for my Cricut machine. This space is probably the easiest to get cluttered because I tend to just toss everything on top of the desk. Right now, I have a shoulder bag waiting for a custom vinyl design and this needle felting mushroom kit that is partially started. I finished the greenery and the base color, but I still need to needle felt the details and assemble it together. I also have this funny work sign that I want to make reversible by putting a new saying on the back. And finally, there's this cute vase that I was recently gifted, and I think it would be perfect to fill with handmade clay flowers. Thankfully, the gaming closet has managed to stay completely organized since the last time I tore it apart. I love opening this closet and getting to pick out a random game any night of the week. Thank you so much for helping me reset all of my creative spaces today. It was so much fun to unearth all of these hidden projects and figure out what to tackle next. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you next time.